A very warm welcome to my IT class. We are going through data structures, a series of data structures, and we have started with introduction to data structure in the last video. In this video, we'll be discussing different types of data structures. Broadly speaking, these are the three types we find here: linear, non-linear, static and dynamic, ephemeral and persistent. In detail, we'll see one by one now what these are. So a linear data structure is one which can be traversed only in a linear fashion. So you will be moving in one forward path. For instance, say you have this is say node, this is a data. Now from here you can move to only one next node. You can move to the next node. This is how there exists a single path. You can either move in the forward or you can move in the backward. When you are moving in the forward, there is no conflict. You move to the next node only. There are no two possible ways or more than one. This is one example. This is of linked list. Then similar way, if you talk about array, if you take an array also is a linear data structure. So when you start accessing elements, you will move in one direction. That is the meaning of linear data structure. You don't have conflict. Say you are standing at this point now. You want to move to the next node. There is only one path. Single path is available. There is no conflict here. But in non-linear data structure, what happens? Say you are at this point and you want to move now further. If you want to move further, there is a ambiguity. There are multiple paths you can have like this. So you will be from node, say this is node N1. From node N1, you can move to node N2, you can move to node N3, you can move to node N4. This way there are multiple paths. There is no single linear way. This is what the non-linearity we say, non-linear. So this is an example of tree. Similar way we have for graphs also. Say this is the one node you have, node A. From here you can go to node B and you can also go to node C. You can also go to node D. And then from C we can go to A, we can go to D. From B we can go to D, we can go to A. This is how we have multiple paths. So from A I have 3 paths. From C I have 2 paths. This way it is a non-linear data structure. Based on the way we traverse, we define linear and non-linear. If we have only one path in which we can traverse from one to the last node, that is linear. When we have multiple paths through which we can reach from start to end, then that is a non-linear data structure. I guess it is clear to you guys. You can say the examples of non-linear are graphs and trees. Let's see the next type, static and dynamic. The literal meaning of static, you know. What is the literal meaning of static? Not changing. Not changing. So not changing here in programming, whenever we say about static, we mean normally we mean it is compile time. And there is another thing, a runtime, you know. Runtime, that is a dynamic. The meaning of dynamic also, you know. Dynamic which is changing, that is a runtime normally we mean here. So what these data structures are then? Static data structure, dynamic data structure. Very simple. Like if you allocate memory for the data structure at compile time of the program, then it will be a static data structure. If you allocate memory for the data structure at runtime of the program, then it will become a dynamic data structure. So the drawback, it both have merits and demerits. The advantage of static data structure is what? Easily and quickly we can create memory for data structure. The limitation is what? Drawback is what? Either we can fall short or we can waste memory. That is the major disadvantage of static data structure. Say you have here an array in example of static data structure. This size in array has to be a constant, you know. This has to be a constant. Why it has to be a constant? At compile time it will allocate this much amount of memory. If it is a variable, at compile time what is the value is not known. So variable is not allowed here. That's why you have to fix the memory at the time of compile, like 100. Then if you want to store 101 numbers, you will fall short of memory. And if you only store 10, you will have excess memory and it is a wastage. It's a wastage. And here it is a shortage. So this is one disadvantage of static data structure, but they are very easy to create. Quickly you can create and you can start use. There is no much complex syntax involved with this one. Contrary to this, dynamic data structure, it is memory is allocated at runtime. To overcome the main limitation of this is the limitation of static. To overcome this, to allocate exact amount what is required, that is at runtime we will be knowing what is the requirement. That's why as per the requirement you will allocate memory. So in different languages we have different ways to allocate dynamic memory. In C++ we make use of new. If you are using C language, that time you will be using malloc function. So how you will be allocating memory for dynamic? Say here, if you want only memory for one single integer, you can say new int, and that will return an address of that block that you will store in P. Similar way, you want to allocate memory for string. This n can be here a variable. This is the difference between static allocation and dynamic allocation. It looks like an array, but it is not actually an array. We allocate memory dynamically. We get the value of n at runtime, and as per the requirement we will allocate memory. So neither we are falling short nor we are allocating excess memory. So it will be, you can say it is a optimum. That's what in the first introductory structure lecture I have said. Data structure is a subject in which you will be studying how to allocate, how to use optimum amount of memory, exact use. This is how through dynamic structures, dynamic data structures, it is possible. So another last category or type is ephemeral data structure and non-ephemeral data structure. So most of the time you might have come across this word ephemeral first time. Ephemeral. What is the literal meaning of ephemeral? Normally ephemeral we say it is a temporary. If you look at the dictionary meaning, it is temporary sort of thing, and it is a one which allows modification and makes the updates available. Normally the data structure which we would discuss here now in subsequent sessions, they are all ephemeral data structures. They are not persistent, they are not stored permanently. What does it mean here? Say when you create a stack, when you create a queue, you modify them. When you modify, the modified data structure is available to you. And a non-ephemeral or persistent data structure is one. This is a persistent data structure we call non-ephemeral. It is a one which always preserves previous version of itself when modified. So it will not allow the modifications. That's why we call it as a immutable. For instance, now I will just give an analogy. It is not exactly that case, just an analogy. Say you will open a paintbrush. You will open a paintbrush and you will open an image over there. You will open an image. You will say open this image. Then you edited this image. Say you edited this image. You added some hair to this person. You edited. After editing, you are trying to save this edited, modified. You are trying to save. But say there is no any option available to save. There is no any option available to save. Then what is done here? What original document you had, what original image you had, that itself is with you. The new modified thing is not available. That's what the persistent data structure. So there is the data structure you cannot modify. Even if you modify that data structure, say this is a thing you have, this is the original linked list you have, say. So when you add a new node over here, say you will add a new node here, and this new node, this modified thing you want, but with persistent data structure it is not possible. You will not be able to have this modification. Only you will retain the original. That's what it says. It is a one which always preserves previous version of itself when modified. So this is the previous version, original. It will retain with that. the new things will not be allowed. So later when we discuss more in subsequent sessions, I'll be highlighting and I'll be elaborating more on this. So for this one, at this stage, this much discussion is enough. I guess you got an idea what are the different types of data structures broadly we study, and hope you understood. I hope you enjoyed the session. With this, I'll conclude here. Thanks for watching, guys. Thank you.